Is this the end of Call of Dragons as we know it? And is this becoming Rise of Kingdom 2.0? This is exactly what we're going to talk about today. This is Zoras, not Casuals, and today we are going to be talking about update 1.0.26 War Reignited. This is a patch note that just dropped today and that is going to be releasing on the 19th, so in a few days only. Now, there is not as many changes in this patch as I would have expected, but the biggest change is obviously the new Season of Strife. So for anyone who's played Rise of Kingdom before, this basically just means that the KVK system of Rise of Kingdom has been basically copy pasted into Call of Dragons, and that Call of Dragons will now be basically the exact same format and game as Rise of Kingdom when it comes to the way of KVK and servers and all that kind of stuff. So for those of you who are not aware, KVK means Kingdom versus Kingdom, which is basically what a Season of Strife is going to be. This is basically where all your alliances and your groups and stuff are going to now be returning to home realm. So the server that you are going to be migrating to or that you are going to be on. So this is when you come in your little thing. So I'm on server 23 right now. So server 23 right now is my home kingdom, and it is where during the off season, when we're not into a KVK or a Season of Strife, we will be in that kingdom. This is going to be obviously a pretty crazy kingdom at the beginning where everybody kind of like migrates to different kingdom. There could be war and stuff, but once you've established your kingdom and you've captured your dragon, it will never change. Your alliance will own that territory, and this will always be for years and years to come. There won't be any new basically behemoth. There won't be any reset. You will always have your home kingdom and it will stay the exact same. There will be no change in the map for PvE content. This means that you will then have your alliance leaders or your high king queue for a KVK or a Season of Strife. SOS kind of sounds dumb, so I prefer to say KVK, but this is kind of what it's going to be, I guess. But you will be in a matchmaking period where your king is going to decide, okay, for the July month, we are now going to be queuing for one of these things. In Rise of Kingdom, there's many different game modes. Like there's Strife of the 8, where there's like 8 camps fighting each other. There's also other ones where it's like one side versus the other side, and there's like dozens of servers per side. Who captured the dragon wins that season. When that season is over, you get sent back to your home realm or your home kingdom or whatever for few weeks, a month, sometimes less, sometimes more, and then your king decides when they re-queue for the next KVK, and then after a preparation phase, you then go to a KVK again, and it's rinse and repeat. You get rewards every time you win, of course, and eventually there will be more maps, and there will be rewards that can only be gotten from there, so it will be important to participate, and then in between you have time to farm and build up. So this is exactly how Rise of Kingdom works, and this seems to be exactly how this game is going to work as well. Now, there have been talks of also implementing rally and garrison in the game, but people are obviously heavily against it because it is one of the biggest downfall of Rise of Kingdom. You basically just watch a rally attack a city for hours and hours while refilling, and there's absolutely no action whatsoever. So this is obviously something that is hopefully not going to be implemented in this game, and there's been a lot of pushback, so we're hoping not to see it in this game because there's a lot of Rise of Kingdom stuff already. Now, there is going to be multiple camps in a season, which will consist of multiple realms. So, for example, you could be match made with 23, 26, 44. That's one camp. And then you have 76, 74, and 3. Those are all kingdoms that are in another camp. And there's also, if you fail to register for 3 Seasons of Strife in a row, you will automatically register for a random one. So this means that you can skip a lot of seasons. So if your king is wanting your kingdom to heal for a longer time, you can not go into a KVK for multiple weeks, multiple months even, but eventually you will be forced into it. So this is a very interesting change. I don't think it's a bad thing in all aspects because this method of queuing and going for, you know, KVKs and proving yourself against different people, it is pretty good. The problem is that matchmaking is often really bad. You will get seasons where one side will just dominate everybody and there will be no challenge whatsoever. And you'll have seasons where it's basically every alliance is insanely powerful, and then anyone who's not powerful in those KVK just basically do nothing all season. But there's also some nice matchups sometimes where you get evenly matched and you get some good alliances, betrayals, and all that kind of stuff. So it does have a lot of interesting aspects, and I've had a lot of fun playing KVK in Rise of Kingdom for the last, like, what, 10 years now. So it is something that I think will have a good impact if it's done well. We just have to see how their matchmaking is going to be. Now, the one thing here that is going to be a bit of a downfall is that to choose your home kingdom, you will need to migrate. Now, in order to migrate, you will be able to do it probably free or for gems maybe the first time. Like right now, I'm on server 23 and I paid 5,000 gems to get there last season, for example, but then I will maybe get to pay one more time 5,000 gem, or you get to choose one more time when this launches. But at the end of this, once this is over, you will have to pay a lot of money and pay for these passports or these tokens that will let you migrate. And basically, from what we know so far, it could be over $400 United States to migrate to a kingdom when your account is pretty strong, which for many people is starting to be there, because people who have been playing for over a year, even free to play, are already at 50-60 million power at this point. So it is going to be costly. So when you do choose your home realm, you must choose wisely, because you will be stuck there. Otherwise, you'll have to spend a lot of money or wait many months. So this is one of the downfalls of this new system. You can get stuck on a server that basically just dies because everybody leaves it, and then you don't have money to switch out. After 1 KVK loss, the entire server migrates out, all the big players, and then you're stuck there and you don't have $400 to spend to migrate, and you're just stuck there. This has happened to many people in Rise of Kingdom that I have played, including my own account, who I haven't played for many years now, but it is something that happened on my kingdom. We won many KVKs, and then eventually people kind of start quitting because the game takes a lot of time. We lost 1 KVK, lost about half of our alliance's high power, went to the server, and now the server that I'm on is maybe 20 people play, 30 people play. It's completely dead, and for me to go out of that server, I would need to spend hundreds of dollars, and I just don't want to, because it's not worth the amount of money for me, and because I don't play anymore. But it is something that happens to a lot of people, and it is, again, one of the biggest reasons why people quit Rise of Kingdom and why the game is currently slowly dying. Still doing well, but definitely not thriving as much as it used to be. So this is just, my personal experience and opinion. I do not know exactly what to expect. I do think it is not a terrible idea. I do think we'll have some good times. I'm just worried that there are a lot of downfalls that might have been overlooked by the devs, and the matchmaking has been pretty poor for previous seasons in terms of some of the matchups that we've seen. I personally haven't been too bad. I've been pretty lucky, but I've seen some of my friends get really boring and very long periods of time with nothing happening, which made a lot of people quit. Now, if this wasn't enough of a big change, we also have a incredibly weird change that has been implemented in the game that we haven't really seen yet, but this is going to be the user experience improvement. They have added a lot of test features such as auto exploration. So I'm guessing you send your scout and they kind of just automatically explore the map for you. Auto peacekeeping, which I'm guessing you just press a button and your troops just keep killing peacekeeping stuff over and over. Pretty weird. Auto gathering, another very weird. So I don't know if we're playing AFK Journey now or if we're playing Call of Dragons. So there's basically auto everything. Everything that you have to do in the game is now automatized, which you don't have to do. So this is going to be a bit of a weird one. We will have to see when they come test, because we don't really know exactly what it entails. But making everything automated will make life of everybody a lot easier, but will also implement a lot of people playing the game a lot less, because if you just have to press a button to auto do stuff and then just go AFK, it means that unless there's war going on, this is going to be a completely dead server or dead game in general. People will just not be chatting or participating because they don't have to be, because it's kind of boring to kill peacekeeping all over again. But if you have a button to do it automatically, such as gathering, but you don't really need to pay attention to the game more than 2 minutes a day. So I'm kind of a bit mixed feelings about this. I'm not sure. I'm sure I'll appreciate all the time I'm going to save, but I'm not sure it's going to be good for the game itself. But again, we will have to see what this looks like. Another great change here is going to be that we are going to get hero level no longer reset. So this is something that they've done multiple times. We started the game where the heroes reset at level 1 every season, then they made it reset to level 30, and now we're not resetting anymore, and we can keep all the books as well. They will no longer be scrapped at the end of the season, which means that once your heroes are 60, you never have to level them again or touch them again, and you don't have to do any releveling at the beginning of the season, because this goes with the home kingdom stuff, where your home kingdom stuff is always permanent. So once you level 60, you're level 60. I think at this point of the game, it's a very good change. I'm kind of bored of leveling my heroes over and over again. It also means that there will be a higher XP need now for leveling. So if you are currently reading this or watching this video and you have a lot of CP to use, well, go use it, because this is the moment now to level your heroes for a lot easier of a experience than it will be in the future season. So this is, in my opinion, a pretty great change. Now, other than that, they've had like a lot of quality of life stuff where you can open 100 keys at a time, and there's more warped skill storage, stuff like that. So there is nice improvements here for quality of life. Now, in even richer combat experience, this is another very weird one, a March attack mode. So for those of you who've played RTS like StarCraft and Warcraft, it's basically the A move. So you have, let's say, you know, you have a troop outside of your city, and let's say you're going to say, I want to move here. Well, right now it will just move. If you get attacked, they do absolutely nothing. But if you can like right click and it's an attack move, well, that means that anything they see in their path, they will attack and they will fight. Now this as a change, I don't think is a terrible change, because it is going to be nice in PvP when you're lagging and all kind of stuff with auto cast artifact. It does feel a little bit weird because now so much of this game is going to be automated. It really will feel like an AFK journey kind of game, because you just send your troops in combat, right click, and then just wait because they attack automatically. Obviously in PvP there's a lot of back and forth, so you still need to micromanage your troops, but this is going to be nice if there is a nice system in order not to attack your allies. With the new KVK system, everyone in a camp should be automatically allied. You shouldn't need to create unions and such like that in order to have allies with other people, and at least that is how it works in Rise of Kingdoms. So this would be nice, because if not, when you're sending your troops on an auto attack, if you have any allies that are not in your union right now, you will attack them, which will make this completely pointless and actually very detrimental to the status of the game. So I'm hoping this is how it's going to work. I don't think this was really needed, to be honest. It just creates more AFK stuff. We don't really need to have people AFK in combat, but you know, it will be something that will be utilized by a few people in the community, I think, and other people will kind of like just ignore it. So we'll see exactly what it looks like, but very interesting changes. Now, there is also a lot of changes to skills and artifacts, but I'm not going to go over them because they changed mostly unused heroes and artifacts. For example, in this, I think this is significantly of a buff, in my opinion. It's worded so badly that it's really hard to understand, but it is basically creating her 20% damage taken thing in a bit of a different way, because it's going to be like an AoE of Nearby Legion. In my opinion, this is good. In this is always good. She's a good support hero. This is not going to make her bad in any way. This is pretty good. Nika is a useless hero. Bakshi, this is decent, but it's just all experience while peacekeeping, so we don't really care about any of this. There's some things here are interesting, but Alistair is a purple hero, so the amount of mattering is really low. But there's some quality of life. There's some interesting buffs, small tweaks that makes some of these heroes work a little bit better and changes a little bit how they work. Again, there are interesting changes, but they're all purple hero. Eliana, Bakar, we really don't care about this. Craig, these are heroes that you use for the first season and then you stop using ever again, because a 5-1-1-1 legendary hero is better than almost all of them in almost every situation. And when you do use them, it's because you have no choice, and that doesn't matter what their skill changes are, because they are going to be the only thing you can use. But still interesting to see. So let me know what you think about this new update and the Season of Strife content. Are you happy that this game is now becoming Rise of Kingdom 2.0, or are you upset because you played this game because you didn't want to beat Rise of Kingdom? There's a lot of bonuses and a lot of malices, so a lot of good and bad in many people's opinion. They will never be everybody, they will never make everybody happy. Of course, it is not going to be easy to do that, but I'm just kind of curious to see what people think, as well as how it will actually really come into life when the game releases itself. The matchmaking, the hiking, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of stuff being implemented at once, and a lot of room for error if it doesn't go right, because of the state of the game currently, with less and less players playing the game and more people quitting both Rise of Kingdom and this game. I'm not sure that just recycling old mechanics is going to work enough, but I am ready to be pleasantly surprised if it's not the case. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on my next video.